Hey guys, and welcome to the goBILDA Favorite Products of 2020 / Holiday Special / Christmas Special show that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks now. So this is the show that's kind of a lot about the products you guys have asked questions about. The big one that we're going to talk about today is, of course, the Trike. We've got some videos to show you guys, and we've also I built up a 6-wheel drive B-line that runs Geckos. So we'll talk about that in a little bit here as well. This is running on the 96 Geckos. So definitely let me know if you guys have any questions about those. I'm sure a lot of you guys are wondering exactly what our giveaway is this week, because it's kind of been a secret up until now. I don't actually have one I can show you yet, because we've not got them, but we have a super limited run. We're only ever going to make a few of these of gray FlexFit goBILDA TV hats. So today we're going to give away 2 of these to 2 of you guys who are watching, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We're really only going to make a few of these, so if you win one on today's show, this might be potentially your last chance to get one. So really limited run, and should be a lot of fun to go through and talk about. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and I suppose we'll start off our giveaway at least. I figured an adequate keyword was going to be 2020. So definitely make sure you're following and type the keyword 2020 into the chat in order to win. It looks like my bot is tagging me every time it posts, so that'll be fun. And it looks like that's all running right. So definitely make sure you're following the channel, type 2020 in the chat, and you'll be entered to win one of those really exciting hats. Merch is something you'll actually hear about later today as well. It's something that I've been really excited to bring to goBILDA, and something that goBILDA TV has really pushed, I think, and a lot of you guys are our dedicated audience who goes and buys merch. So thank you guys for giving us the great opportunity to get some of that in. Yeah. If you have questions, make sure to tag us in the chat. Chat's moving pretty fast today, so we may not get to them if you don't. One of the things that I've heard a lot of people ask about is I said that I built a B-line chassis with 96 Geckos. I actually switched those Geckos over to this B-line because it doesn't have any unreleased parts. And it's fun. It's really bouncy. I don't think it's very viable for FTC, but it's fun to put some fast motors. It's running 13.7s and just run around on 20 volts and have a lot of fun. FTC 15048. It's a custom goBILDA TV hat, super limited run. We're only going to make 12, so it'll be really fun. The first run of goBILDA TV merch, even that we've done internally, and we're giving it away even before we have it, so it'll be really fun. If you get one, you'll be one of the very few people to have them. So you can see here one of the advantages of a spoke pattern like the Gecko wheels have, which is a bi-directional, really smooth squishing wheel, is that it can work as a drive wheel, and you don't bump along the surface as you drive. You'll get a little bit of that just because even with this spoke pattern, you can't have perfectly consistent squish, but you can see it drives around, and even with some weight on it, it's pretty darn smooth. You can also notice that I've left the drop center in this because you can really see that because the middle wheel is squished more than either outside wheel. Because they're squishy wheels, you're still going to have full contact with all wheels on the ground, which means you don't get many of the advantages of a 6-wheel drive drop center, excuse me. But this is kind of more of a fun project than anything. As it turns, depending on how grippy the surface is, this one's not super grippy, and these wheels are pretty dirty. You may get some wheels that kind of bend over like this. It's just kind of the nature of a really, really grippy wheel. The upside is we have a curved metal wheel here, or curved metal wall here at goBILDA, and if you clean these wheels off and make a run at it, it will go straight up the curve and end up straight vertical, flipped over backwards. It's really fun. 101 Bob says, won't the Geckos get really dirty because they are touching the floor? Yes, and that definitely is kind of the limit on grip there. because they are so grippy, they pick up dirt really fast and they get slick. So if you were, for some reason, going to put these on an FTC drivetrain, definitely don't. They're out of scale for that. But if you were, you would want to clean them off before every match. And if you're looking at a really high performance intake, especially on something like a Skystone, you're going to also probably want to clean it off every match. So I just have my trusty towel. I grab some water and just run the wheel, hold the towel up against the wheel, and that does a really good job of cleaning it off pretty darn fast. We'll turn up the volume, I think, so it should be a little better. Let's see here. So, you might also notice this is set up for RC. It's running a RoboClaw. This is running a 2x15, which is kind of that nice ratio if you're trying to run RC stuff, and it's just set up with the receiver. All the channel mixing is done on the RoboClaw, or you can also do it on the transmitter, depending on the exact transmitter you've got. And that just makes it a really fun overall run-around project. So if you want to put a camera on it and drive around real quick, this is a really fun base to do that. With that, I suppose we'll talk about this Trike. We'll bring it over and take a closer look at it. You guys have been talking about it all year pretty much, so not all year, all FTC season at least. So we'll take a closer look. You'll notice it's really not all that heavy. It seems like it should be really heavy, but it's more awkward than anything. It's all channel, so it's aluminum, and it's a pretty lightweight frame. You can hit, I've hit 16 miles an hour on it, which isn't very fast on paper, but you're so close to the ground that it feels crazy. It really feels insane. But it's fun. It definitely is fun. I don't think anyone's fallen off it yet, but I guess there's the first time for anything or everything. So if you were going to build a project like this, you would definitely want to wear a helmet all the time. This is running on a RoboClaw 2x60. We actually only have one of these motors plugged in right now because they are hot enough that they want to pull more than 60 amps all the time, and that's all we feel really comfortable pushing through this battery. So it's running on one channel, and that one channel is limited to 60 amps, and that's actually faster for us than two channels, than two motors, each limited to 30 amps. There we go. So it's running on a 6-cell LiPo at a 50C discharge rating, so it really could pull a lot more than 60 amps. The reason we have it limited like this is because it will pull 60 for the entire time you're trying to get up a hill, and it will just sit there and bounce off the current limit. So that kind of really prolonged load is not something that RC batteries are really designed for. Their more common use case is something like an RC truck, where you'll slam on the throttle and you might do a backflip, but most of the time you're not in a direct slammed contact with the ground, or these have good enough grip that you are in a situation where you're basically stalling those motors as you're accelerating. You're getting pretty close. It is actually controlled by this rotating kind of motorbike style, so you can hear it. It's pretty darn fast. I think I made a skid mark on our tile. And you can get some pretty fine control of it. It's running on 8mm pitch chain. We can rotate that so you guys can get a little bit better look. And just like a goBILDA 12mm coupler, I believe. So, or 12mm hub. It is a really fun project. It's something our interns did over, I believe, 2 summers ago now. They built up this Trike that we took to, the plan was to potentially bring it to a competition, but it ended up being a little too fast for that, I think. And stuff like the Mecanum chair and the couch actually ended up kind of taking over that role of being the builds we bring to competitions to show off goBILDA. This one is fun, it's portable, it's kind of lightweight, and compared to the couch and the chair, it's fairly cheap. But it's one we've kept together because it's just a fun project. We will pick it up and push it back. Put it back on this table over here. And we will play a video of it running for you guys to kind of tune in and take a look. Oh, maybe. Perfect. Merry Christmas delivery. Happy holidays from us at goBILDA. So that was that trike. We definitely didn't get up to top speed during that ride, but it was fun. And it can be really fun if you're just kind of barreling down a hill trying to get up to max speed. Fastest I've gotten on a flat stretch of road is 15 and a half, somewhere in there. But if you go downhill, it can be really fast. Let's see, the theme, I'm not gonna try. Anyway, he says, let's 2020 be better. Definitely agreed. Let's hope that it is. Drones54 asks how heavy the bike is. Maybe 40 pounds. That's probably a pretty high guess. Probably 30 or 40, somewhere in there. I'd say like a medium-sized kid, I guess. Like a 4-year-old maybe? I don't know. Seems like a fairly good guess. Let's see here. Mailman, definitely. That's just about right on. We thought it'd be fun to kind of deliver an FTC kit to our own mailbox, but that'll be fun. JSSENG asks what axle is on the back wheels. It is running 12 Rex. That's I'm sure a big shocker if you know our large scale projects around here. They're almost all 12 Rex, and some of them are going to be like 32 mil aluminum tubing if it's a really heavy duty and slow moving system, but the couch and the chair are both 12 Rex as well. And those are going to be steel, of course. And that feels like a very good scale for the kind of slower, lighter duty ride-on stuff that we tend to do here. Firefighter Girl _18 asks where the brakes are. It relies on the motor braking right now, which is fine. For the speeds we're going at, it would be nice to have some real brakes in there, but for 15 miles an hour, honestly, motor braking is fine. It slows down fairly fast, and I guess you can always put your feet down if you really need to stop in a hurry. Is it legal to ride on the road? I don't think so. I think it's probably short enough that you would need like a visibility flag. I'm not sure. I think it would depend entirely on where you live and all that stuff, but I'm gonna go with no. Let's see here. It looks like a lot of you guys are entered into our giveaway. I'm not sure if some of you guys probably aren't in the loop. It is a special goBILDA TV hat that we haven't even gotten in here yet. So if you end up winning that, shoot us an email. We're marketing@goBILDA.com and just say, hey, we won the goBILDA TV hat from that end of year stream. Give us your shipping info, email address, and all that stuff, and we'll send it right over to you. That I'm really, really excited about. I really am pumped for goBILDA TV merch. At least this hat. If anything else might come up, we don't know. You'll have to stay tuned to find out. And with that, I suppose we'll kind of jump into more of the meat of our show, and that's what our favorite products are. So we have grabbed all of the members of goBILDA R&D, so that's our research and development department, and asked them what their favorite parts are. I'll talk about mine after we play this video, but you'll be able to hear from a lot of the guys who design a lot of the parts you guys know and love.
Jason, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and my pick for my favorite new product from 2020 that we released is the Super Speed goBILDA Servo, because who doesn't need a little extra speed in their projects? Also, my bonus pick, of course, is goBILDA merch, because go build or go home, baby. Alright, thanks.
Hey, my name's Kyle. My two favorite parts of the year are the 8-Rex bearing and the 8-Rex miter gear. The bearing is cool because it fits in the 14mm hole of the channel. It's got an 8-Rex bore, so that way when the shaft spins, it spins the ID of the bearing as well. And then the flange diameter is 15, that way when you have screws on the 16 pattern around this bearing, there's still clearance. The miter gear, there's a lot that went into this that really isn't seen in many assemblies, but there's a lot of clearances for screw heads and access through the face in order to tighten up your screws and things like that, just really makes that convenient. It also goes in the strafer kit and gives us a great ratio for a high-speed chassis with the 1:1 miters.
Hi, my name's Luke. I am one of the engineers here at goBILDA, and one of my favorite new parts, and one that is very near and dear to my heart, is the new Mecanum wheels. This is special to me because I was the primary engineer designing it and have about 10 million hours catting this up and looking at it, and I'm thrilled with how it turned out. Thanks.
Happy Easter. I'm Josh. My two favorite parts released this past year have been the Gecko wheels, the compliant wheels. I came from FTC, so intake wheels, these are kind of big for me. And then they're also just oddly fun to play with.
Hey guys, it's Kevin with goBILDA's. I'd like to tell you about a couple of my favorite parts we released this year. First is the 2106 shafting. It's 8 rex, it's got an E-clip, it's awesome for using in drivetrains like you've seen in the Strafer. It saves you a collar every time you use it because it can butt right up to the bearing. My second favorite part is the 2303 series steel pinning gears. I particularly like this one because it has the 8 rex bore, it's got 2 set screws, and it's got lasered on text on the back to show you the exact tooth count so you aren't counting teeth. I really like these because they mesh on the 24 spacing, so you can get 2-to-1, or you can get 3 different ratios on a really compact spacing. Happy holidays, guys.
Hey, I'm Brian, and my favorite part is the Element 6. Merry Christmas.
Great to hear from all those guys. I love that. One of my favorite parts of that video is how serious some people are and just how crazy goofy some people made it. Nobody saw the past person's video before they shot theirs, so it was fun. You did see Brian in there. It was like a 10-second part, but it was fun. I don't even know if you technically saw Brian there. You kind of saw like a persona of Brian. That's the Brian we see if we come into work like on a Saturday for some reason and help out. It's just like he's wearing shorts and he has an afro. And so my favorite product of 2020 definitely has to be the B-line. This is a tough one for me because I also love the Strafer chassis. The Strafer chassis is something that predates me working here. And it has been around for a couple of years now. It's served a lot of teams really well in some FTC seasons. I was really, really excited about being able to revamp it for this season, and I think it turned out really, really nice. It is a lot easier to assemble, a lot faster, and has some nice mecanums under it now. Not the last year's weren't nice, but some nicer mecanums. The B-line is really something that I was really excited about because it was a entirely new chassis that we were going to develop that was a six-wheel drive. And I know a lot of you out there know me fairly well. I love six-wheel drives. They are absolutely my favorites. They are a whole lot of fun, and they just drive around really, really well. They may not be the most competitive every year. They probably aren't the most competitive option this year either, but I think it's really, really fun, and they are a really cool option. And, of course, it let us do a lot of cool, neat things. One of my favorite things about the B-line chassis is our ability to kind of go out of the box and start scratch on a lot of design concepts that FTC teams have been using for a long time. A big one of those being the powertrain. So the powertrain is something that I believe is kind of an innovation on our part. I've not seen one exactly like this before the B-line, and it has kind of been a fun experiment in how we can improve and change the traditional West Coast style of drivetrain. So it's very similar. The biggest difference is that the center shaft is not running a belt to each outside shaft. It's just running a belt to the front wheel and then the back wheel. So
I finished up that render for you.
Oh, thank you. Hey guys, we are back. Sorry about that difficulty there. So, like we were talking about before, this is my favorite product of 2020. It was really very fun to design, and it is, I think, going to help a lot of teams out. I know somebody mentioned in the chat, John the Brown Dog asks what's so good about six-wheel drive. I really love six-wheel drive because it's a really direct connection between the robot and the ground. And it can give you some really great acceleration and some really, really good turning characteristics. So it can mean you have a really fun and fast robot. Another thing it lets you do is a dropped center. So I don't have an amazing example of this right now because this robot is running Geckos. But a dropped center basically moves your center wheel down, or in the case of the Beeline, your outer wheels up, so that you have an effectively shorter wheelbase. Your robot will only ever be on 2 of its wheels at once. And that means, since your turning speed is determined by your track width and your track length, you want your width to be as long as possible and your length to be as short as possible for the fastest turning. It gives you a really fast turning chassis on a fairly stable chassis because you can always rock forward to your front wheels. On the Beeline, you actually are using a different combination of wheels, so you can get a lot of different performance characteristics depending on your circumstance. You also don't necessarily have to have your center wheel in the center of your chassis. You could move it closer to your Omni wheel or further away. A big proponent of this was 148, FRC 148 in 2018. Power Up, whatever your Power Up was. They moved that off center so they could get some different characteristics. I think JVN has a blog on it. It's cool. So that's one of my favorite reasons six-wheel drive is cool. I also really love the Strafer, and Mecanum chassis are so fun to drive. And once you get enough practice under your belt and you are good at driving a Mecanum chassis, they are really, really, really fun. And you can get some really, really cool movements as you're turning and strafing at the same time. Baron from 5064 taught me how to rotate and translate in one direction with a Mecanum drive, which is hard, but it's fun. And stuff like that is just like a really fun and interesting system. I mean, there's a lot of people talking in the chat about something. I can't figure it out. It's really confusing me. But anyway, 2020 chassis, they're really a lot of fun. I suppose we'll roll over and roll for our first hat giveaway. So if you guys have not entered your giveaway by typing 2020 in the chat, you should definitely go do that now. So you get a chance to win our second one. Oh, let's see. I suppose we have to roll both of these at the same time. I didn't realize that. So I'm going to give you just another minute. We definitely let the people who have not yet jump in and enter to win your giveaway. That will be really fun. I'm so excited. I can't stop talking about those hats. They are going to be super cool. If you did win a hat, shoot me a DM on Discord if you've got me, or shoot me an email, and I can send you a render of the hat. It's really cool. So one of my favorite parts of this chassis right here is just how fun it is to bounce around and how funny it is to drive. It has some really funky characteristics, being Geckos. Again, Geckos don't make any sense on an FTC drivetrain, but they're really, really fun. Especially, we've been running more projects like this one on 6S, which is just a really, really fast. It's a 22-ish volts. So yellow jackets definitely get pretty hot. We wouldn't recommend doing this if you are concerned about the longevity of your yellow jackets, but it is really, really fun, and they can go pretty fast. Active Lively asks if we can drive that around. We can do that, yeah. I've got to grab the battery off of this robot, though, the Trike. We also have to grab our battery adapter, which is right here. We also need the strap off our battery, or off of the other mount. I really wasn't prepared for this, but this is that battery. It's a 6S crazy honkin' battery. Again, not good for the longevity of your motors. Overvolting stuff is never a good idea, but it can be really, really fun. So we'll make sure to run this. This is just our goBILDA battery mount that we sell. It works really well for stuff like this. Since there's only ever a maximum of 40 amps running through this, I am actually running an XT30 to an XT90 adapter. That is stupid. It's silly to have a 90 amp connector on your battery and a 30 on your controller, but since we're mostly using this battery for the ability to pull 40 amps, and we're never going to pull 40 amps, it's really not a big deal to run a 30 and run your current through that. It's also running through some power poles since that's what I had on hand as an adapter setup, so kind of a mix of adapters there, but it's fun. Now I'm just going to not drive this right off the table. It's fun. I'll pick it up so you guys can kind of hear it, try to get to full speed. Anyway, that's that robot. It's a lot of fun. You can drive it around, and of course if you have clean wheels, it can get a lot of grip. Make Gecko climb wall, please. We may do that next stream. No guarantees. We will roll for our giveaway, though. That should be really fun. Let's see here. Looks like we've got a bunch of entries today. Our first giveaway winner is going to be Paula Platypus, something like that. So congratulations. And our next winner is going to be, oh, stink. Let's see if I can pull our giveaway history up. I definitely just hit complete giveaway on accident. More details. All right, so I'm just going to close my eyes and scroll through this list, I guess. C4 Glenn is our other winner today. C4 Glenn, congratulations to Paula Plus and C4 Glenn. Shoot us an email to marketing@goBILDA.com. Let us know you've won and include your Twitch handle, and we will get those hats sent out to you after the start of the new year. That will be really fun. I'm super excited to see some of those on social media, Instagram, Discord, and all that stuff. Let's see here. I would gladly accept it. We may do more of these in the future. These hats will be exclusively given away on goBILDA TV. They're never going to be, this exact hat's never going to be sold and all that stuff. You may see it. You could also get one, I suppose, if you get a job here. So those are your options. But that will be really fun. If you guys are interested in building stuff like this or stuff like our Mecanum chair, keep an eye out on the goBILDA webpage and our social medias. We normally do internships over the summer for a couple months where especially FTC alum can jump in and do a lot of cool builds and videos and stuff like that here at goBILDA. So if you want a chance to come down to sunny old Kansas, that would be a great opportunity. With that, thank you guys so much for watching the show today. Hope you have a great rest of your 2020, and we will see you after the holiday season. See you guys.